What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. This is serious. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy Kevin to on YouTube shit. Hey man, say man, we are lit, eh? Lit that chick, man. Turn. Today, it's a motherfucking day. Straight here outside, big crib, and the gang dude. Outside shit, man. Hey man, say man, free Palestine, free Congo, Russia do your thing, and Texas stand the fuck up, man. Hey man, say man, each day is a new day to be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring you down. Always fight back. Never let somebody tell you who you are, but also never put yourself in a spot that you don't belong. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, say man, Coach is a black Hebrew Israelite, man, is a real Jew. Let's get into this bit. Alright. Today, it's a motherfucking day. Straight here outside, big crib in the game. Alright man, outside shit, man. This shit is wild, man. You know, we done lost so many people through this ongoing war/genocide, man. You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about Julio. Now we talking about Nygil Cullins. You know what I'm saying? His police footage just got released. And this shit is wild. You know what I'm saying? This is straight murder. The white cop murdered Nygil Cullins. And this is what I'm saying, man. 9 times out of 10, the police want to kill you. Do you honestly think they want to protect you? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there be instances where they have to do it because it's their job. But let's be honest, they want us gone. Nygil, you know what I'm saying? He had mental issues, man. You know what I'm saying? His parents called it out. They been done was trying to give this nigga a bed. So they called the paramedics and all these people to come help him. They didn't show up for 2 fucking hours. And when they did show up, they murdered him. And this is where y'all gonna be like, well, y'all gonna find out that he had something. But it's legal to open carry and have that. So y'all please look at this video and check it out. If y'all don't see this video and it's got like a little thing where it says you gotta press it because the video is too damn violent, I'm gonna have a link down below or on my on these posts of the video on Rumble so y'all can watch and see what's going on and how they trying to take us out, man. This shit is murder, man. Just believe what I'm saying, man. The cops and they edited the video. This shit getting wild, man. The footage of the cops shooting the black man, and it was crazy. They say it was they edited the video.
Cops shoot a 22-year-old person at a restaurant. Here it is.
Girl, what's going on? All right.
What the world?
Stop! Put down the guy! Go! 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 Put your hands on your head! Put your hands on your head! Put your hands on the head! Stop! Stop! 5-9 right away! 5-9 right away!
Then proceeds to to seemingly empty the clip into this man. He was suffering a mental health issue. Put up the picture full, man. Nygil Cullins, during a mental health episode, is confronted and fatally shot by an Atlanta police officer. Per the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, 22-year-old Nygil Cullins' family has waited 2 years for the Atlanta Police Department to release the body cam footage of this fatal shooting inside a Buckhead restaurant that took place May 18th, 2022. Now, the recently released footage shows Cullins' final moments as he grappled with police and security. And the security guard. The footage released Monday shows Cullins at Fogo de Chao. This is the Brazilian steakhouse. On the night of May 18th. Moments before officers arrived on the scene, restaurant staff had placed 2 911 calls alleging Cullins was being unruly. His family have said he was having a mental health episode, which, by the way, is clearly documented. Accused police of editing the video, an allegation they deny. His mother, Maya Cullins, said, quote, "Our response to it is we want justice. We're going to do everything that we can do to ensure that happens." Restaurant surveillance footage, also released by APD, shows Cullins arriving at the bar area of the restaurant before 7 p.m. and sitting there for about 45 minutes, scrolling on his phone, talking to other patrons. At one point, Cullins stood up, went behind the bar to grab a bottle of alcohol before returning to his seat at the bar and having a drink. When police arrived at the restaurant, they pushed Cullins to the ground. The video, slowed down by Atlanta police, includes a red circle highlighting the gun holstered in Cullins' pants. So he had a gun holstered inside of his pants. Once Cullins is on the ground, one of the officers pulled out a taser and told Cullins to put his hands behind his head before he fired the taser. The video shows. The APD spokesperson told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution the taser was deployed because Cullins had a weapon. The taser did not slow Cullins down. He stood up and rushed toward the exit of the restaurant, holding his gun. 2 other officers, including a security guard, then tackled him, the footage shows. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. What sounds like a gunshot is heard on the video, and the security guard who was on top of Cullins moved away before an APD officer opened fire on Cullins, shooting him multiple times while on the ground. Now, if you go back, and we're not able to show the full carnage of that, but it is available on social media, what you will see is the officer.
It's crazy how
in what I can only describe as a gangster-style shooting.
The white man
decided
does it.
to empty his clip in a person who's on the ground and posing no physical threat whatsoever to the officer or anybody else. He just decides to just put all the bullets in. Okay, there's more. A federal lawsuit filed by Cullins' family stated that Cullins suffered such pain from the taser that he tried to leave, but was tackled by a security guard. The security guard grabbed the gun, causing it to fire, striking the guard and resulting in police opening fire. The shooting pauses briefly before the officer shoots Cullins multiple times again. APD inserts another red circle to highlight Cullins' gun next to him, which he appeared to reach for before the second round of shots. However, that is their interpretation. You know why we won't know exactly what was going through his mind or his nervous system or the flinching of his arm? Because he's dead. He won't get the opportunity to face his accusers. He will not get the opportunity of due process that is constitutionally provided. So the police, they take the opportunity to go ahead and speak for him. It's a damn shame. At a Tuesday night press conference, the Georgia NAACP president, attorney Gerald Griggs, who happens to be a good friend of mine, I spoke to him earlier today, accused the APD of editing the footage to fit their narrative and to justify the shooting. Quote, "We respectfully ask for law enforcement to release their unedited version, not their editorialization. They already put their narrative out there. We argue their narrative is incorrect. He added, he is in the middle of a mental health episode, but he is not violating the law, end quote. Attorney Leif Howard, who's representing the Cullins family, said the footage was edited with the goal of justifying the shooting. Quote, the real truth
That's crazy.
is that the restaurant and the city of Atlanta failed Nygil Cullins, and editing a video won't be enough to hide this truth. I'm going to tell you something. I know Gerald Griggs, attorney, president, NAACP, state of Georgia. These attorneys are not saying this to say it. They have something. They know something. They have either been told something or there's something more. But for them to say the video is edited, that video is edited.
That's crazy.
There's more. But an APD spokesperson said they released a full unedited version of the footage and simply slowed it down at parts for people to see what actually happened. Cullins' father, his name is Quentin. Quentin Cullins said his son, diagnosed with bipolar schizophrenia, was scared of law enforcement. Hours before the shooting, the family had actually already secured a bed at a mental health facility. Quentin watched the footage Monday night. He could not sleep. Quote, that's all I keep seeing in my head, he said. To see your son lifeless and arms dangling, that's not how you want to remember your son, his last moments, his last breath, he added, becoming emotional and shedding tears. In a previous interview, Maya Cullins, who works with mental health patients, said she knew what to do after she arrived at her son's downtown apartment and found he was delusional, not in the right frame of mind, and had a raspy voice. She secured a bed at a mental health facility and called 911. However, it took over 2 hours for paramedics and officers to arrive, and by then he was in the wind. He left. So what do we have?
Oh, shit.
Now you have a policy dynamic.
Damn, it took 2 hours for them to come
The mother
the kid to put
knew
him
exactly
in
what was happening with her son.
and the cops killed him.
He was experiencing a severe mental health issue. She calls 911, makes an official report. She secures a bed in a mental health facility. It takes them over 2 hours to respond to the 911 call. He goes to a restaurant that he's familiar with.
Damn.
He knows some people there. He goes to that restaurant. He's continuing to exhibit signs of mental health diagnosis, a mental health issue. Multiple patrons call the police. This guy's acting weird. I don't know what's going on. Police need to get here. They come in, guns blazing. They kill him. You already had the 911 call that Mr. Cullins was experiencing a mental health episode. Why aren't the systems congruent to talk to each other? Why was there this security guard able to basically become deputized without anybody making him part of the police department or the emergency call? And why did the police officer decide, after Mr. Cullins was already down and of no threat, obviously, to anybody, why did he decide to basically empty his clip inside of this man? And why do you have noted attorneys saying that the video that was released is edited? It's a lot of questions here. All right. Put up the flyer for the protest. I spoke with attorney Gerald Griggs earlier today, president of Georgia NAACP. They are having a protest for justice on June 14th on the sidewalk in front of 3101 Piedmont Road, Atlanta, Georgia. If you are able to be there, I highly encourage you to make it. Stand with this family, provide the political pressure that's necessary in order to get full justice here. All right, Yasmin, thoughts?
Yeah, if you need to subdue someone who you believe is armed, then isn't there a way to do that without killing that person? Isn't there a way to do that without shooting him multiple times in a row? Maybe they just weren't very good cops. And the idea that people who are under such acute stress, like being shot at a restaurant or being told to get on the ground by cops while you're at a restaurant, the fact that these people who are under such kinds of stress, that they're at fault for not responding perfectly, is so dangerous, and it's unacceptable as a justification for cops killing someone.
That's right. We will bring you updates, guaranteed to be updates in development in this story.
Nygil Cullins had a mental health crisis. Instead of receiving help, attorneys say he was shot 10 times at Fogo de Chao in Baca.
I'm a young black man, doing all that I can to stay all the way to look around, and I see what's being done to my kind every day. I'm being
Atlanta police will release a body cam video from the day Nygil Cullins was killed.
It happened at Fogo de Chao restaurant on Piedmont Road. It was May 2022. People who were there said that he was having some kind of mental health episode. 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates joins us outside the restaurant with the latest. Bobeth, the family has been fighting for this day now for a very long time.
That's exactly right. And in just a few hours, that family's fight to get that body camera video showing the shooting that took place at the Fogo de Chao right here behind me will come to an end. And they say they hope with it they'll get the evidence they need to hold someone accountable.
Enough for, the NAACP and its attorneys to see the video. It's not enough for members of his family to see the video. The community needs to see the video.
That was attorney Gerald Griggs' call to action back in May. He represents the family of 22-year-old Nygil Cullins, who was shot and killed at Fogo de Chao restaurant on Piedmont Road back in May 2022.
The community needs to see the video. They need to see 10 shots being fired into Nygil Cullins. 5 shots, a pause, standing over him and walking around, and then 5 more shots. Justify why he was treated in such a manner.
In a statement to 11 Alive, APD said the video would be made public Monday. The move comes weeks after a lawsuit was filed in federal court, naming the city of Atlanta, the restaurant security team, as well as 2 APD police officers who responded to the scene as those responsible for Nygil's wrongful death. The document went on to claim negligence, inadequate training, excessive and deadly force all contributed to the shooting.
If I could say anything to him, is that I'm sorry as a mother that I couldn't save him.
The family says Nygil was carrying a legally concealed gun when he left his home after a mental health episode. They say they made several calls to get him help, but instead they say he was met with deadly force. And now, with the potential release of the full unedited video, the family is hoping that they are one step closer to getting justice and healing.
It's really hard, man. As a man, you teach your son every type of thing whenever you step out the door. What not to do. The system failed my son. Mental health is real. It's really real, and I think it needs to be taken more serious. It's a lot of people who have lost their lives because not enough training has been put in place.
Now, Atlanta police says once they release that video, they will not be holding a news conference or releasing a statement. Now, the family says they will, however, be holding a news conference around 3:30 today once that video is released. Of course, 11 Alive will be there to follow up.
Atlanta.
Do you need a police ambulance or the fire department?
Police. We have a guy in here with a gun, and he's acting very, very weird.
Okay. Did he point the gun at you?
No, he just has the gun on his belt, and he's yelling at employees in the building. He wants to drink alcohol from the bar.
Oh, he's trying to drink. What's the name of the business there?
Fogo de Chao. Fogo.
Okay.
DECHAO.
Okay, hold on. Is he a guest and he just refused to leave?
No, he walked in. He didn't want to sit in the dining room. I tried to sit him at the table. He started yelling at me. He said that he wanted to go to the bar. Then he tried to order the most expensive liquor that we have. It's like a $400 shot. And now he just walked to the salad bar and started grabbing food. And then he called another employee and started yelling at him because nobody's taking care of him.
Let me have a description of it. Is he black, white, Hispanic, and what is he wearing?
He's black, short, skinny, like spiky hair, and he's got golden teeth all across his mouth.
Hold on. You said spiky hair and gold teeth?
Yeah. And he's probably about 5'5", 5'6", skinny, and he's wearing sunglasses.
Okay, and this is Fuego de Chao?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is.
Okay, and verify the phone number you're calling from. Okay. All right, where is he right now?
He's at the bar.
Okay, Mel is at the bar. Mel is at the bar. Okay, all right, we will get someone out there.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Atlanta 911 up to 3469. What's the emergency?
3101 Piedmont Road.
3101 Piedmont Road?
Piedmont Road.
Is this Fuego de Chao?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. This is about the same guy?
Yeah, I called about 20 minutes ago, and now he went inside of the bar and started grabbing bottles, and it's getting...
Sir, you called us about 10 minutes ago. I spoke to you. Okay, we do have your call. As soon as we get a unit available, we'll get someone out there. What is he doing now?
He went inside of the bar now and grabbed a bottle of liquor and just helped himself, and is sitting there just drinking.
Okay, so he grabbed the bottle of liquor and is drinking it.
Yeah.
Okay, did he pay for it?
No.
Okay,
No,
all right.
He pushed the bartender out of the way, and like I said, he's got a gun on his belt.
But did he point the gun at you? That's what I'm saying. Did he threaten you with the gun?
He did not point the gun, but he's yelling at everybody.
Okay, I understand that, and I did update the call. The person is yelling and being belligerent. Now he's drinking a bottle of liquor. As soon as we get a unit available, we'll get someone out there, okay?
Directly behind me, sitting at the bar by himself with his feet on the chair. Hey, bro, what's going on? All right. Bro.
Stop! Put down the gun! Go! 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 Put your hands on your fucking head! Put your hands on your head! Put your hands on the fucking head! Stop it! Stop! Five nine, right away! 5'9", right away! Six, 63 shots fired. 63 shots fired. Go to the shop. You good? You good? He's shot at officers. He's currently on the ground right now. You good? I'm good. I think 210's good. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get back. Fogo de Chao restaurant. Start at 4. Start at 4. You guys secure the gun? You guys secure the gun? Yeah. Negative radio. About 5 or 6 shots to his chest. Huh? Radio, we got a security guard that's hit. Hey, get chest seal.
Man, this is horrible. This was horrible. I just looked at the whole 100% of the video. Yeah, they murdered that nigga, man, at cold blood on purpose.
Cam has finally occurred. Now we are disturbed by some of the editing in the body cam. Both myself and Attorney Howard, as well as members of the Cullins family, have seen the body cam. Both initially when it was shared with the NAACP, where it was edited. And then again, when it was shared about several months later with the family and of course the NAACP and their legal counsel, where it was again edited. And then this current release, where it has again been edited, slowed down in pieces to emphasize the police's narrative of what happened. Let's be clear. The entire unedited body cam and the entire unedited surveillance footage, as well as the 911 calls, paint a clear picture of what happened to Nygil Cullins.
There's race baiting.
Nygil was in the middle of a mental health episode. His family had already secured bed space. They had already gone to his apartment to check on him. They had made several phone calls to law enforcement and had waited for 2 hours to provide services for Nygil. After waiting 2 hours, they were alerted to what happened at the Fogo de Chao, and that's where the surveillance footage, the 911 calls pick up, and we know what happened to Mr. Cullins. So let's be clear what we see in the video. Nygil is an invitee at the Fogo de Chao. He was a former employee at the Fogo de Chao. The statements of Fogo de Chao in respect to him being an African-American male with gold teeth and him doing anything other than frequenting the restaurant and eating are erroneous from the very videotape. At no point while he's in the Fogo de Chao does Nygil commit any crime. He's actually eating the food. He hasn't been asked to leave. He hasn't been asked to pay for the food. He's eating and interacting with patrons. Now, he is in the middle of a mental health episode, but he was not violating the law. It also should be noted that about a month earlier, the governor had signed constitutional carry, which means that any Georgia citizen who's a lawful carrier can both carry a weapon and conceal the weapon. So at no point was he violating any laws.
So he had to like even hold a gun.
Look at this. In the 911 call, you hear the 911 operator ask whether or not he was violating any statutes or laws at that point, and of course there were none. So once the police were contacted, had conversations with Fogo de Chao, and interacted with Nygil, the first thing you see in the video footage is Nygil get up and put his hands up and surrender to law enforcement. He's in the process of surrendering to law enforcement. He goes down to the ground to surrender to law enforcement. Now, in the edited portion of the video, they make a big deal on circling the weapon. Again, he's not brandishing the weapon. He's not threatening anybody with the weapon. So the main question that we have for law enforcement is, why was he tased if he's not violating the law? He's tased. The tase agitates him, and he does what any reasonable citizen would do in that particular moment.
Get the fuck up!
He tries to get away from the tasing.
Yeah!
He runs away from the tasing. Again, at that point, the gun is still in the waistband. He's running away.
Especially got mental health issues.
What appears to be an object, we can't really
make out what that object is.
Police are arguing that is in fact a gun. But even at that point, the gun is pointed, if that is a gun, pointed down, and he's running away from law enforcement. Again, after he's contacted and he's tased, he's still not committing a crime because there's no lawful reason for them to detain him because he's not committing a crime at that point. He's running away. He goes around the back of the restaurant, comes back to the front of the restaurant where the Fogo de Chao security guard tackles him. You clearly see him being tackled. You don't see what happens to the gun. You don't even see the gun. You hear the gun discharge. It's at that point that law enforcement discharges their firearm into Nygil Cullins. Nygil is incapacitated. He goes to the ground. There is a pause. And then law enforcement discharges their weapon again into Nygil Cullins. At no point was Nygil a threat to law enforcement, and it did not justify them shooting him not one time, not 2 times, not 3 times, but at least 10 times.
They unload the clip on that nigga.
And then another.
I'm gonna show y'all a video, next video, how this white man done this mass murder. And nothing happened.
It does not take 2 years to investigate an incident. But 2, there are more questions posed by the release of this tape than there are answered. The questions that remain for this family: why were their calls to 911 not responded to at Nygil's apartment? Why was he not taken from the apartment to the bed that she had already provided? Why did they listen to the mother when she said, I clearly know he's in a mental health episode? But of course it ended in the most unfortunate way, and now you have the police trying to spin a narrative. We respectfully ask for law enforcement to release the unedited version, not their editorialization. They've already put their narrative out there, and we would argue their narrative is incorrect. But to try to editorialize to the public in a case that's still open, in a case where they have not made a determination of whether or not this officer was justified or not, runs afoul of the very spirit of transparency and justice. APD has gone on a campaign since 2020 to rebuild trust and to rebuild transparency with the public.
The thing is, it didn't even do nothing.
The way they released that video does more damage than it does rebuilding trust. So our concern at this point is to continue to advocate on behalf of this family to make sure that the public understands that Nygil was an invitee to the restaurant. He was not violating any laws when he was tased, and we have more questions than we have answers now that the tape has been released. And further, my request.
Any whole ass commenters in the comments on why his voice so raspy between 2. Bitch, fuck what y'all talking about, nigga.
Should a family have
why they
to
come
ever
shoot him
go
for no reason?
2 years of waiting, demanding, and having to file a lawsuit to get the release of a tape which belongs to the public? The very reason why Atlanta police officers are mandated to wear body cams is so that the information and the video in real time, unedited, is available to the taxpayers and the public for transparency. And so we have more questions than we have answers. If they are trying to, in fact, justify this case, justify it. But we all know it's in the hands of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, so our final request would be for the Fulton County District Attorney's Office to conclude its charging determinations in this case. We believe that there may be charges that should be forthcoming, and then his attorneys will continue with the litigation in the matter that's already filed.
Man, these 12 think they can do whatever. But then when it comes to their own race, they really get shot, all types of stuff. They come to us, they try to kill us off the instant.
After Attorney Howard makes a statement.
Yesterday, the city of Atlanta released restaurant surveillance video, edited law enforcement body camera videos, and some of the 911 calls related to the shooting and death of Nygil Cullins. The body camera video was edited for one reason, so that you, the public, come to the conclusion that the shooting of Nygil Cullins was justified. It was not. So what did they not release yesterday? Did you hear the 911 call where Nygil Cullins' mother was begging for medical assistance because her son was going through a mental health crisis? Did they tell you it took around 2 hours for them to respond, and by that time he had left the location? They released 911 calls where the restaurant tells law enforcement that there's an armed black man with gold teeth in the restaurant who has yelled at patrons, shoved a bartender out of the way, and who did not pay for his food. At what point in the video did you see Nygil push the bartender away? Nygil, as an invitee and patron, was still eating his food when the police arrived, so how can you say he isn't paying for his food? At what point is he yelling at patrons in the
If he wasn't
restaurant?
paying for his food, nigga,
Or is he simply eating his food, scrolling through his phone, and casually talking to people who are in his vicinity? And why are the employees of the restaurant describing Nygil to the police as a black man acting strange with gold teeth instead of Nygil, our former co-worker? He was an employee at this exact restaurant weeks before the incident. Yet they are all acting like they don't know who he is. How many times do we have to see folks lying to the police that a black man has committed a crime when he has not? We have to hold these folks responsible or it will keep happening. And we have to change the narrative. That was clearly demonstrated by law enforcement when they released this edited video. And why was Nygil Cullins tased when he immediately submitted himself to law enforcement by getting on the ground with his hands up? Should a black man not run away from that situation with law enforcement when he has done nothing wrong and is tased? And at what point are we going to treat mental health the way it should be treated? To give people the help they need when they need it and by the appropriate personnel. And why does it take over 2 years for the city to complete its investigation so the DA's office can then review the case, because they have to wait until it's over, for possible prosecution? The real truth is that the restaurant in the city of Atlanta failed Nygil Cullins. And editing a video won't be enough to hide this truth.
What if I can't make it to the game because...
Hide this truth. The Cullins family appreciates everyone who has offered support during this difficult time, and they look forward to their day in court. And it won't be a narrative. It won't be a narrative that the city of Atlanta tries to do with a video. It'll be evidence, it'll be facts, it'll be the truth. Thank you.
So the ultimate question is, how many more people are going to have to die with false narratives? We started with Katherine Johnson, went to Kane Rogers and Jamarian Robinson and Jimmy Atchison and so many others, Oscar Kane, and we are here. You can't forget what happened to Rayshard Brooks. How many more of these narratives?
I'm looking into that shit too.
The key for Atlanta is to be transparent.
It's the police
Don't
system.
videos.
And they already got a mindset on how exactly going to act. They're already on guard.
And so on behalf of the NAACP, we will continue to advocate on behalf of Dr. Cullins and Nygil's family.
I was looking into the ATL couch shoes. There's a lot of them.
Questions to answer. You know, there's been a lot of talk about building a training facility. You can't train your way out of this. You have to hold people accountable. And it starts with this case. You know, the mandating of body cams was supposed to be a step towards transparency. But now that we're editing footage, instead of releasing the footage in a timely fashion, like, I don't know, 30 days after the incident, which is long enough to investigate, to lock in witnesses, to make sure testimony doesn't change, that's not transparent. But definitely waiting 2 years, having a family...
That's insane. 2 years?
March...
Everything can be wiped away.
Communicate with
they can hide everything in 2 years.
File a lawsuit before the light of transparency shines, and then the release of edited tape is more of a slap in the face.
Yeah.
So the ball is in the city of Atlanta's court. It's time to be transparent. It's time to hold folks accountable. It's time to change policy. It's time to make this family whole, and it's time to be clear with the public about what really happened to Nygil Cullins at the Fogo de Chao restaurant. With that, we'd be open to any questions.
I have a question for the family. What is your reaction after seeing the video? Anyone?
It's disgusting. If they will sit and paint a picture, it's still not true. A lot of the things in the initial narrative does not equate to what we saw. So
you're losing so many black lives, man. Police violence and
we're going to do everything we can to ensure that happens.
Ms. Cordero or anyone can answer this. Did APD give a reason reason as to why they edited the video?
No, they did not give a reason, and I, as well as Attorney Howard, specifically asked in multiple communications to release the unedited video. And as much as we appreciate after having to file a lawsuit that they released the video, you should have done this a long time ago. You should have been clear with the public.
They tried to hide the whole full They tried to hide the whole full video, bro.
I've seen the video at least 3 times.
This is crazy.
The first time I saw the video, it stops at the first shooting. Why would you edit after the first shooting?
Yeah.
And we saw it the second time, and we saw it in real time, not slowed down, instant replay, but real time, where you can clearly see that he shot. The officer stands over him and then pauses.
Shot him 100 more times.
So what we saw yesterday was an attempt at being Steven Spielberg and redirecting what happened. And
they tried to edit the whole video up.
Have you guys talked to Fulton County DA Fanning Willis about this case already, or were you waiting for APD to conclude their investigation and then approach the DA?
Well, go ahead. We still don't know if APD has completed their investigation. That's for them. But yes, we have spoken with the Office of the District Attorney's Office, and they are still investigating, and we're hopeful that they will give us a conclusion soon.
Mr. Cullins, your reaction to seeing the video?
I didn't get sleep last night. To see your son afraid whenever he's approached by law enforcement, there to hopefully serve him and bow down and be scared. That's all I keep seeing in my head. Is his hands up, afraid, and running for his life. I do believe if my son would have made it outside that door, he'd still be here. But unfortunately, the security guard tackled him, and then everything else happens. And to see your son lifeless, I said I wasn't gonna cry today, man, but to see your son lifeless, arms dangling.
Yes, sir.
That's not how you want to remember your son. His last moments, his last breath. And then you come 10 minutes later and try to resuscitate him.
Now unload the clip.
You take your time to resuscitate him. Like who want to see their child brutally murdered? Because that's what it was.
Yeah, that was murder.
They brutally murdered my child.
He murdered that nigga on purpose.
He was a good kid. Yes. Everybody. I'm sure some of y'all.
You got the right to protect yourself, man.
Depression, whatever it is. He was battling some stuff.
Didn't deserve it.
He didn't deserve it. He did not deserve it. He was a good kid. He was so afraid of law enforcement. He respected that. Anytime he got in trouble, not in trouble, but if he even got pulled over with a speeding ticket, he calls us immediately on FaceTime, afraid, so we can see what's going on. So whenever they walked up on him, y'all saw it, saw how scared he was. He bowed down immediately and was afraid. All they had to do was go over and talk to him. It seemed like they just came in there forcibly trying to get him. They didn't talk to him and ask him could they come and talk to him, take him outside and talk to him, pull him away from it. No, they went in guns blazing basically, and that wasn't right.
Is that your first time seeing it?
Yes.
It's my first time and I hate I ever saw it.
To further answer your question so you understand how it works, the way I understand it is, once the city of Atlanta completes its investigation, then the district attorney's office gets their basically the file, the evidence, and then that's when they start reviewing things and being able to make a decision as to whether anybody's going to be prosecuted. So the DA's office doesn't start that process until the city of Atlanta finishes their investigation, which is why Gerald here is stressing the fact that it has taken 2 years to finish the investigation. Because it's taken so long, by the time the district attorney's office gets it, makes a decision, if they do decide to prosecute, you're talking 3 years, 4 years before the case even starts.
Is it your understanding that the 2 officers still work for the department?
I have not heard of any disciplinary action taken on the officers. I believe the investigation, as far as I know, is still open after 2 years. Once they conclude their investigation, the way I understand it is that is when Fonnie Willis and the DA's office will review it and make a determination as to whether to indict the officers or not. But that is my understanding of how it works.
APD claims that the first gunshot was by Nygil. What is your reaction to that?
My reaction is the tape speaks for itself. You see him tackle, you see the gun discharge, you don't see who discharged it, and then you see Atlanta police fire, not once, not twice, but over 10 times with a pause. So my response to Atlanta police is your job is to respond and report, not weave a narrative. If it in fact happened the way you say it happens, don't edit the tape. Let the tape speak for itself. Let the tape play in real time. Let all the surveillance footage play instead of the body cam, and you get a full picture. Let the witnesses speak. And stop trying to weave a narrative that is contrary to what happened.
Why do you believe that they are doing this? Do you believe there is an effort to cover up something?
If you have to ask that question, I think you already know the answer.
Damn, yeah, they cover up.
Just being frank.
But what do you guys believe?
Our belief is that law enforcement should be transparent with the public. Law enforcement should report, not editorialize. That's not your job. What happens is determined in a courtroom, not on the side of a restaurant or in the restaurant vestibule. And so our frustration, one, it took 2 years. If this is actually justifiable, why does it take 2 years? Why is it still under investigation? But further, why did it take a family having to file suit before you release this if it's justifiable? So my experience as an activist and as an attorney, this smells.
And actually, I wanted to, you asked a very good question about the firearm. And if you look at the video, you see the red circling of what they believe to be a firearm during the video, the editing of it. And to respond to your question, that's why in my statement to you all, I brought up how we even got to that point in the first place. The 911 calls by the restaurant lying, saying that he had committed a crime of violence to law enforcement before law enforcement arrived. The fact that he was tased when he had got on the ground with his hands up, even right when the law enforcement walks in, he gets down and puts his hands up, and he was still tased. So to answer your question, what I would like for you and the public to look at is how, and the 2 hours it took for them to get there to address the mental health situation. All these things happening, how did we get to the point where Nygil is being tackled by security? How did we get to the point where he's being tased when he didn't do anything wrong, and now he's scared and he believes he's running for his life? Like, how did we get there? And I know with the circling of the firearm that that is an intentional act to say this man is walking with a gun, he's a danger, he's running with a gun in a restaurant, we have to eliminate the threat. I understand that's why the gun is being circled. But what I would ask the public and what I would ask everybody to really think about is, how did we get to this point where Nygil, because hours ago she called asking for help, how did we get to the point where he's being tackled by security and then fired upon and dead?
But were you guys able to do an autopsy on Nygil's body, and did you find out how many gunshot wounds he had? Because we see, like you mentioned, at least 10 shots in the beginning, and then seconds after we see another round of shots.
I believe it's still under investigation by the GBI. So once the GBI comes back with their report, everybody will find out how many shots were fired.
The lawsuit you filed was strictly to get the body camera video released, correct?
No.
Okay.
I would refer you to the complaint. Just review the complaint, and it'll show you all of the legal arguments as to why the parties, the defendants that were sued, why we believe that they're liable. So I would just refer you to.
What exactly was that lawsuit filed?
I don't remember the exact date, but if you just look at the lawsuit, they'll explain.
Yeah, I need to get
They'll explain everything.
Was it last year? When
No, it was filed in May of this year.
Okay.
Damn,
All
it took
right,
a
so
whole
it has a
almost
list.
a year and a
And then
half.
just would you quickly recap everyone that you want held accountable in this? Just quickly, briefly recap all of that.
To answer that, I would ask that you look at the complaint specifically.
Alright, back. So if you see from that bitch, man, he murdered him, bruh. The cops had no rights to doing that. They didn't show up for 2 fucking hours. And when they finally met up with the nigga, they threw him to the ground, tased him, and murdered him. I'm saying this, nigga. If you mind your motherfucking business, and you at the bar, cooling, and out of nowhere, some police want to come to you and throw you to the ground, are you finna just stay here and just stand and sit, take that? No, you trying to fight back or run. You don't know why the police is trying to fuck you over. You know what I'm saying? And he got back up. Thank Yahweh from getting tased. And a lot of people died from getting tased. The co-founder of Black Lives Matter died from getting tased. Crip. You did? So, this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Tased the dude, Cullins, Nygil, and Nygil got up, and then they tackled him. And then after all that, they shot the whole clip in this nigga. They shot this nigga like 11 times. And then they tried to edit the video. After he shot him twice, I guess after the shooting, they try to edit the video where he didn't shoot the other clips. Boy, this game is fucked up. We gotta follow the rules. Even when the rules are meant for us to make it, we still gotta go above and beyond just to even follow the damn rule, because they'll say we're not following the rules anyway. But when it comes to a white person, they don't have to follow nothing. This took 2 years for them to get the video out and unedit it. And then they had to, because of a lawsuit. The police game is crooked. It's corrupt. It's the KKK. You know what I'm saying? When some white person do anything else, let's say they rob somebody, shoot somebody, they ain't finna kill them. They ain't think about getting niggas the death penalty. We be trying to survive, fight for ourselves. Let's say somebody run down on us. Like, let's say that the YNW Millie case. They trying to get this nigga the death penalty. And we don't even know if he did it. We know this white dude done shot this nigga and killed him. And nothing happens, really. And they had the parents gotta sue the police people just to get a statement and a real video to come out. Bro, this is a sad world we live in, man. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a smack in the face, man. That we gotta go all this hard above and beyond just to help our people out. And when we take the right precautions, we still somehow call the suspect. You dig what I'm saying? It's like this man had mental health issues. If his parents knew he had mental health issues and they got a bed for this nigga and something obviously wrong with his voice, so he probably would have went. He probably needs the help. Something wrong with his fucking voice. In the damn comments, you look at the original videos of this shit, they talk about this man's voice. They are some whole ass motherfuckers, man. Y'all worry about his voice and the man got killed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had a raspy ass voice. You know what I'm saying? And his parents knew it. That's why they're trying to get the niggas some help. This is sad. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like you try to call somebody for help that's supposed to be working with the America, and these niggas the full-hearted KKK. White supremacy. And they want us to just be happy with that shit, nigga. They want us to not say nothing, don't fight back, just keep on going. No, nigga. Unfortunately, we got some real niggas out here who fighting back, man, who have something to say, who not finna go along with the life like nothing ever happened. We ain't going like that. We ain't moving like that. We ain't built like that. We built for success and helping our people out. You know what I'm saying? No matter what happens. So Yahweh protect us. You know what I'm saying? This is real. You know what I'm saying? The white supremacists set the whole situation up Cause they could have came and helped him out right in the chair. 2 fucking hours? They knew they was gonna kill that nigga when they found him. They knew it. You know what I'm saying? Civilians trying to help they people out and they get killed. And they get to spun around and they go so hard to edit the damn video up. And like I said, I don't know if this is the original video, so I'm probably gonna go online because I think the video finally came out after 2 years. And they edited the video to make it seem like it was easier than what happened. In that they gave to the family. This is crazy. This is really wild, man. You see what we black people gotta deal with, man? Shout out, man, prayers to all the fallen soldiers, man. The people get set up, and the popos help set it up, and the people who are the popos just straightforward kill them. You know what I'm saying? You know, we live in this world, man, and we gotta protect ourselves, man. We ain't gonna just go out with nothing. He had the right to have what he had on him. He had the right. It was legal. It's legal. He didn't do nothing. Can't just go in on somebody. He even worked at that spot, nigga. They just ain't fuck with somebody and try to take them in when y'all wait 2 fucking hours. That's stupid. And he even got that on the ground. They tased him. If the nigga on the ground, you tase him, nigga gonna get up. You trying to kill me. Man, this is some bullshit, man. Prayers out to the family and the friends, man. Share the message out there. Revolution is at hand, man. We need a revolution. It's happening now. Get prepared, gang. You got to be a war out here, man. Hood and outside crip shit, man. Stay safe out here.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. You know this instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.